The top 10 most important things in your life. Episode 199 of the BTS Creative Academy podcast, Uncut. Introducing Lucas Ellice. With me, your host, Martin Colton. Welcome, Lucas, to the BTS Creative Academy podcast. I'm really excited to have you here. I feel like this is going to be like an extra special episode, speaking with my nephew. So Lucas, for people listening in or watching that don't know you, how old are you right now?
I'm 10 years old. In almost 4 months, I'll be 11.
In almost 4 months. So you're 10 years and 8 months?
Yeah.
And how many days? I thought you'd just know. I thought that would just come to you just like that.
You don't know.
You don't know. Well, I haven't seen you for a little while. The last time I saw you was up the top of a mountain.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't it? And we're not even joking, are we?
No.
The actual last time we saw each other,
Yeah.
you was at the top of, what mountain was it?
Mount Snowdon.
And what was you doing up there?
I was climbing a mountain.
Yeah, just like you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a normal Saturday.
Yeah.
You just was like,
Climbing
you know
a
what?
mountain, normal Saturday, you climb a mountain.
Yeah, do you know what? This Saturday I'm going to climb a mountain. And I followed you up there, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you went up there with a bit of a mission, didn't you?
Yeah.
What was the mission?
Just to get to the top, really.
To get to the top?
Yeah, just to get to the top.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's something good in that, isn't there? Just doing something for the sake of doing it. Just do it for fun.
Satisfying.
It was satisfying.
Yeah.
You did have a mission. You raised some money, didn't you?
Yeah, I raised £175.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you do that?
My mum put it on Facebook.
Yes.
And Instagram, and people could donate.
They could, couldn't they?
Mhm.
Because everyone was so proud of you. Because it was it's a massive achievement, isn't it, to climb up a mountain at 10 years old. And so you raised £175. Do you remember what charity it was for?
Cards for Bravery.
Cards for Bravery. And do you know what they do?
They send cards, like get well cards, to people. Well, not get well, like what's it called? To make them feel kids in hospital that maybe won't get better. Make them feel better, mentally.
Mm-hmm. So to try and cheer them up.
Yeah.
Try and make their day a bit brighter. Yeah. It's a really nice charity, isn't it? And and that was a charity that you chose?
Charity that I chose because I went there with my auntie. Mm-hmm. And we made cards. We made more than anyone has ever done. We made cards, and we got a whole 12 cupcakes from it.
It sounds like this is something you're really passionate about.
Yeah.
Something that you believe in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you think that passion comes from? Where do you think that?
Maybe just like being kind to people makes me feel good.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's
really awesome. And that's really nice to see that you wanted to go out and achieve something for yourself. And for others at the same time. That's a really special thing to do. Yeah. Do you think you'd do it again?
Yeah, I think I would. I might climb Scaffold Pike and maybe Ben Nevis when I'm 16. Okay. Maybe, yeah.
So you feel like you've got to wait a couple of years before you do the next?
Yeah, because Ben Nevis is the tallest mountain in England. Mm-hmm. And Scaffold Pike I might do next year.
Okay.
Maybe, because it's
it's the next one up, isn't it?
It's actually, no, it's a bit more down.
It's a little bit less,
I think it's 100 metres less.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And so if you can do the one that we did, then you can do the next one. Yeah. Because it's a little bit less. Yeah. Now, I remember I really struggled at the last little bit of that walk. It was really difficult, wasn't it? Because It wasn't a nice sunny day, was it?
No.
And I remember we got 3/4 of the way with Grandma and Granddad came.
Yeah.
Auntie Mandy and Uncle Gary came as well, and your mum. And you were leading the way with your mum. But Grandma and Granddad got a bit tired, didn't they? Because it was really difficult. And so Auntie Mandy and Uncle Gary looked after Grandma and Granddad to head back down. And me, you and your mum, we met up, didn't we? And we were like, shall we go back down or shall we not? And what did you say?
Let's go back down. But then, just out of the blue, you just come out of like fog.
Oh, so you and your mum first of all said, let's go back down.
Yeah, and then you was like, let's go.
Okay, I came out of the fog. And as I got to you, what did I say to you?
He was like, come on, you can do this, let's get to the top.
Did I? I don't remember that.
It's a bit like a superhero movie.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I like the sound. I like that. So it's like, I came out, I was like the superhero.
Yeah.
Nice, yeah, that makes me feel good. So I came out, I was the superhero. And I see, the way I remember it is when I came out of the fog and I saw you and Laura, my sister, your mum, and I saw you both and I was like, oh, I think we can do this. I think we can get to the top together, just us three. And did you feel like you wanted to complete it, or was you really tired? Because I was
really tired, and also when I had my gloves, I would squeeze my hands and just water would just pour out.
Yes, it was almost like being in water, wasn't it? It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't even raining. It was just wet.
Yeah. Like, it was like, you couldn't feel drips. It was just, like, you were in the water.
I guess it was we were essentially in the clouds, weren't we?
Yeah.
It was essentially up there in the clouds. And so I guess that's what it's like to be in the clouds, just be in wetness. That's not quite like being in a swimming pool or the sea.
It's like wet air.
It's wet air, but it's so wet. Yeah, I remember walking along and I'd squeeze my gloves as well and it'd just ring. The water would just pour out.
Yeah.
But we did it, didn't we?
Yeah.
We got to the top and I remember everyone else along the way was cheering you on as well.
Yeah.
All this, like, it was really nice. All the strangers that were there. No one knew anyone, did they? But they were all cheering us on. They're going, "You can do it! Come on, let's do this!"
Yeah. And also, do you remember that guy when I had to sit down and he gave us that rock?
He gave you a stick of rock, didn't he?
Yeah. And then we met him up at the top, and he said, "Well done." And he gave me one of his bird watching badges.
Yes, because he was a bird watcher, and he collected badges, and he was so proud of you. To see that you'd done it, he gave you one of his badges. And that was a really lovely moment, wasn't it? A nice thing for him to do. Have you kept that badge?
Yeah.
Of course you have.
Yeah, and also Grandad, he gave me a gold compass, and he also gave me like this spyglass thing.
Nice. Okay, and I guess they're things you're going to keep for the next hike, aren't they? Yeah. Yeah. So even though it was difficult, are you sure you want to do it again?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Loved it.
You actually loved it?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Because I loved it as well.
Yeah. It's good to spend time with your family, like doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's also good for your mental health and physical health. So.
Why do you think because it's very clear why it's good for your physical health, because it's a workout, isn't it? It's tough on your body. You're moving all of your muscles trying to get up there. You're having to take deep breaths. So you're doing all of that for your physical health. But why do you think it's good for your mental health?
Because it's like an achievement, and also it's like if you do this, you can do like anything.
Yeah. Yeah. You really can, can't you? It really is because it's that tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
That while you're up there, you're like, oh, I could just go home right now. I could just be in my nice, warm, cozy bed. Yeah. I could just be playing on my PlayStation. Yeah. But no, you climbed a mountain.
I climbed a mountain.
You climbed a mountain. So therefore, whenever you're doing something else that's difficult, you can look back to that day, can't you? You can go, remember that day that I climbed a mountain? So this isn't half as bad as that. Yeah. So I can do this. And so I guess, that is really important to have for your mental health, because there are tough days, aren't there, sometimes? Sometimes there are difficult days, sometimes difficult achievements. You play a lot of football?
Yeah, a lot.
So do you think you can take that mentality into the football when you're playing football?
Very much, yes. Like, I really think I could, yeah. Yeah, I think I could.
Because sometimes when you're playing football, it's a little bit difficult. You're on the losing team sometimes.
Yeah, and you could be like
4-0
I wish
down.
I could just switch teams just like that, and just be on the other team, winning team. But it just doesn't work like that. So you have to work like as hard as you can. You have to put your full potential into stuff to just achieve what you want.
That's it, exactly. And so this is a creative podcast where we talk about creative things. So I wanted to talk to you because you're actually really creative. I don't think I've ever known a 10-year-old as creative as you. You've got such a vast imagination, and I think that's something really special that you've got there. And so I've got lots of questions for you to find out kind of maybe where does that come from, that creativity? Where does that, you write, don't you?
I write lots of stories.
You do lots of stories.
I'm writing a series book with my friend Ronnie. We've made one book so far, and we might make another one next week. We might start to make one because the last book it took us a month to make because Ronnie gave me all the ideas and then I writ it because I gave him this book, a little book like that size with a little pen, and he just wrote loads of ideas, and every week I'd give it to myself and I'd just write whatever he writ. So, and that's how we'd do it. We'd call each other on FaceTime, and I'd read to him what I've writ, and he'd give me some more ideas on there. And yeah.
So why did you start doing that with Ronnie? Did a teacher say to you to do that? Did a parent say you should be writing?
Not really. It's just in year 4, when I was in year 4, like a year and a half ago, we wrote our own Mr. Men characters.
Right, okay.
In the story. So mine was Mr. Cool, and Ronnie's
Is there a Mr. Cool already?
No.
There's not. So you
No.
made up this character. Yeah. I guess this is like what they call fan fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got this story that's already out there in the world, Mr. Men, and you've adapted it in your own style and added your own character.
And Ronnie's was Mr. Handsome.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and then we just started making our own Mr. Men series, but then we thought there's just so many Mr. Men series that I don't think we could do all of it just like that, because Mr. Men books are quite small, but they have lots and lots of pictures, and I'm quite good at art, but not as good as the illustrators on Mr. Men books. So me and Ronnie was like, oh, why don't we create a book series that doesn't need pictures? So then we started doing a book series called The Adventures of Captain Fly Speed Zap and Ronnie the Ravenous Raider.
Right.
And then we were just like, yeah, this is the one. This is the one we'll keep doing.
This is the idea.
Yeah.
And then something was born from there. So you've got this partnership going on with this other writer.
Yeah.
And so how do you support each other? What skills do you bring to the writing, and what skills does he bring?
Well, if we come up with an idea, we work together to find good words to put in the book to make it sound better, so more people want to read it.
Okay. So you do want people to read these books, do you? So you're not just doing it for yourself. You'd like to find an audience, would you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And has anyone read them already?
Me and Ronnie done a show and tell at school, on the book we made. But I think when I think when we've done a fair amount of books, like maybe 10 or 15 books, then maybe we could copy it.
Okay.
And then, like, sell it or something, I don't know.
And because you're quite business-minded as well, you're quite the entrepreneur, aren't you?
Yeah.
You've got aspirations to.
Yeah.
You're always coming up with inventions, aren't you?
Yeah.
And new ideas, and I think one day you are going to be a millionaire. I think you're going to be the first millionaire in our family, maybe.
Yeah.
What do you think to that?
Maybe.
But do you have to, when you're writing, do you have to think about the end goal of selling it and having it as a book series that everyone buys?
I don't. I just write for enjoyment. Then I also think, oh, this could be good to sell and make money from. So that's just a plus side. But
Right.
I really do it just to have enjoyment. Like, just for enjoyment. And to, like, what's it called?
Is it a way to let your creativeness out?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And
you've got this idea in your
Mm-hmm.
mind, and you've got to get that out onto the the page, haven't you?
And also, it's a way to be sociable
Yes.
with friends. Like, yeah, it's just really good.
It is, isn't it? It's a great way to like keep like you and Ronnie are building like a big good friendship together
Yeah.
with doing this, which
Yeah.
is nice
Yeah.
because you've always got something to connect with, haven't
Yeah.
you? You've always got something to come back to and to refer to and be like, oh, what are we going to do next with our characters
Yeah.
and how are we going to make this journey move forward? So tell me a little bit about the story then. What is this story about?
Well, basically, of course, it's called The Adventures of Captain Flyspeed Zap and Ronnie the Ravenous Raider. And Ronnie's my sidekick
Okay.
in this book series, and we just tell stories about us, like fighting crime and having adventures with each other. And the first book was that we were in the woods and there was a sign that said "Do not touch," and we touched it, and then, like, you know, in Shazam when a wizard like just comes out of nowhere and he says like, "You are now Shazam," or
You now have this power.
yeah, he told us that and was
Right.
like, "What?" And then he disappeared, and then we just teleported home, and there was a dog, and he was literally flying because he had like telekinesis, whatever you call it, like where you can control stuff with your mind.
Wow. And so do you think when you're writing about these characters, are you seeing yourself within these characters? Because you say we, when you describe it, you say like we, and it's you and a friend, and in this book series, it's like there's these two characters. Do you see yourself in the characters, or are these characters completely separate to you?
Yeah, I see me and Ronnie as these characters because they're literally called Lucas and Ronnie, the characters. Yeah.
So it's like you're going on these adventures.
Yeah.
It's like you're going on this journey in your
Yeah.
imagination.
Yeah.
And so where do you think the initial idea comes from? Because you mentioned Shazam. So do you think these ideas for like these mystical, magical worlds come from other things that you've seen? Because you like sci-fi, don't you? You like your superhero programs. You're a big fan of The Flash.
Yes.
And so do you think they come from those things
I
or
think
anywhere else?
mine and the book series came from Shazam and Shazam, because he can do like so many different things. He can fly, he can shoot lightning out of his fingers, he can run super fast, he has super strength. It's like the greatest superhero of all time.
So he was like an inspiration for these characters. And I guess you're taking the inspiration of Shazam and then the experiences that you as Lucas know, and you've kind of mixed them together.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what's happened
Yeah.
here? Wow. And so where do you hope this journey with this character will go next?
I hope that maybe one day I could like make it into like a show, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, or maybe like I could be like one of the most like David Williams or like Roald Dahl or like a writer like that.
So those are people that you look up to, are they?
Yeah.
Why do you look up to David Williams? What I don't know much about his writing because he's a fairly new writer.
Yeah.
And so when I was younger, he wasn't around. Roald Dahl was, but David Williams was a comedian on TV when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah, so he did like comedy sketches. So I see him as a comedian. I don't really ever think of him as a writer, but I know for your age group, you see him as a writer, don't you?
Yeah, like his books are really funny, and the one that I've read quite recently is World's Worst Children 1, 2 and 3.
Okay.
And then I've also read The World's Worst Monsters, and it's like in them books there's a bunch of like in the World's Worst Children book there's a load of different children. They tell stories about each children. At the final story, it tells them about all the children.
Okay.
And in the book in the World's Worst Monsters, it had like every single different made up monster, like the Yeti, like the Cyclops, and like other monsters like that. And at the end, it said, "Dear David Williams, why can I be in your book? I hope to be in your book for the next one. I am the mighty Kraken, king of the sea."
So that that kind of inspires you, that kind of writing.
Yeah.
And I guess that's quite an exciting way to finish a book, isn't it? To say kind of, here's something you missed.
Yeah,
You've told this big story, but there's more yet to tell.
And he also said, like the Kraken, he said, "I am the mightiest monster. All the other scary monsters get scared of me."
That sounds good.
Yeah.
So what about David Walliam particularly inspires you then?
Because he was on Britain's Got Talent as well. He's like really good writer nowadays. Like, he's got so many books. And I haven't even read all of them yet. Like, I've only read, 4? There's about 10.
Okay. So when I was saying what inspires you about him, I was kind of wondering why you would kind of want to do that when you're older. What about what David Williams does makes you think, I'd like to be doing that?
It's because he's like really famous, and also not just that. He said in like a video I watched that he really enjoys it.
Yes. So trying to find something that you really enjoy, and you know already, you already said that you really enjoy it. Wouldn't that be great if, for a living, and when I say a living, like you can have a life based around something that you enjoy doing?
Yeah.
So you're also very good at football. So is there anywhere where the football and the creativity meet? Is there anywhere where your skills as a writer, your skills as someone that's really imaginative and creative, but yet you play your sport, is there anywhere they come together?
I don't think you would believe this, but actually me and Ronnie again, because me and Ronnie created this football team at school, and we put loads of our friends in it.
Right.
And at break time, we go against the Year Sixes with the football team, and I'm the manager. And Ronnie's the actual manager, and I'm the second manager, but I also play as captain.
Right, okay.
And I play centre midfield in this team. And like it's just really good.
It sounds like a really good partnership that you got going on with Ronnie.
Yeah.
Like you understand each other.
Yeah.
So when you're captain of this team, what kind of things do you have to think through?
Like, I have to think through where all the players should be. Like, say Teddy was out of place, I'd have to be like, Teddy, quick, get up the pitch real quick, and then get like in the edge of the box so you can header the ball into the goal. Or if the manager wants me to if Ronnie wants me to set up like cones to do drills, then I could help him.
Help him do that. So I'm trying to think, is there like somewhere in football managing where you have to kind of imagine how the game's going to play out?
Well, yeah, because like you have to imagine what the game, and then you have what the game's going to be like, and then you have to try and recreate that. But not exactly, because you can't control the players. The players do what they want, but you can tell them where to go. So
you can give them a bit of an insight into what to do and kind of guide them along the way. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
So what else do you do that's creative?
I draw. I have 2 full drawing books, and then I've just started this new one here.
Right, okay. Tell me about what you've brought.
I brought like a space book.
Right, okay.
And I took the middle out because it was just a puzzle, and it was really annoying when I was picking it up because it used to feel loud. Yeah, I haven't really written anything in there just yet.
Okay.
Because this is like a brand new
book, Spaceman on the front.
Yeah.
Ready to be filled out.
Yeah.
A blank page ready for your imagination to get to work on.
Yeah.
So you've got books filled up with drawing.
Yeah.
So you said when you was doing the Mr. Men, though, that you wasn't very confident with doing the drawing for some of these books. They are different types of skills, obviously, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm not very good at doing 2D art. I'm better at doing like 3D art and realistic. But I've tried to draw like Mr. Men characters. I'm not very good at drawing circles, so it's hard to draw Mr. Men characters because most of them are just circles with like arms and legs. So,
do you think anyone's really good at these things like drawing and writing? Do you think anyone is just naturally good and they don't have to practice?
No.
Or do you think it takes time?
I think like with the Mr. Men books, I think it's taken them their whole life to practice. Like, and also they probably enjoy it maybe.
Yes.
And they want to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And
So do you think you're being fair on yourself when you say you're not very good at something? Because you're only 10, aren't you?
I'm only 10.
So to say at this point, I'm not very good at this.
So, yeah.
So you could say, I'm going to practice at it.
Yeah. And I could get better. I could be like an expert here when I'm like 30, 40. I could even be an expert of it at like 15 if I practice like every single day. Yes.
Someone once said to me it's about the amount of hours you put into it.
Yeah.
And there's a golden rule of 10,000 hours.
Yeah, in your whole life.
So and you do you choose to do something you enjoy, you practice for 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
And that's the point at which you start to become good at the thing.
Yeah.
But before that, it is all just practice, all just trial and error and doing things wrong. And I think for me, I'm nearly 40 and I'm still practicing at things now. I'm still trying to work out how things go and work. Yeah. So it takes time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So you might not be brilliant at right now, but you'll get better if you keep practicing, especially if you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because like you said, that's the whole point of doing it, isn't it?
Yeah, is enjoying it. And if you don't enjoy it, there's really like no point in doing it if you don't enjoy it, because you have to enjoy something to be able to do it. And as I say, like football, I really enjoy it. I'm really passionate about it. That's why if I see something that I like to do with football, I always ask, can I get it? Or can I save up for it? Because I'm like really passionate about football, and I could do that as a career one day, maybe.
Yes, yeah. And I guess you've got lots of time and opportunity to work out what you're going to do as a career. I think sometimes we ask the younger generation, like yourself, we ask too much about what you want to do in the future. Whereas I think right now is your time for experimenting, your time for enjoying things, and
Like
to work out.
Yeah, up to 16, like that's your time to experiment. Because when you're 16, you can get a job. That's when it's legal to get like a part-time job. Like right now, I quite want to work at Subway.
Nice.
Because I get free food.
That would be good.
I could get free Subways.
Yes, that's a good idea. That's really interesting because your niece, your cousin, Chloe, she her thing that she wanted to do was work in McDonald's.
Really?
When she was younger, because of exactly the same thing, the free food.
And also, it's like, didn't Mummy work at a coffee shop?
She did.
It's very sociable. You get to meet new people, and yeah.
What do you think's good about that? What do you think is good about being sociable and meeting new people?
I think it's good because you can like make more friends, and then you can like really, if you've got the more friends you have, the better your life is because you've got like more people to like play with or to like talk to, I guess, than if you didn't have like, if you had one friend, if they were busy, then you couldn't do something else with another. You'd just be there alone.
And it's really important to be with people, isn't it?
Yeah, really.
In this thing that we're doing, this life that we're living, it's really important to have other people along for the ride. And you mentioned a really important word there as well, that a lot of people as they grow up, they stop doing this thing. And I'm talking to a lot of adults at the moment, and a lot of them forget how important this is. And it's this thing called play. That right now you get the opportunity to do a lot of play. Why do you think play is important?
Because you can have fun and play with your friends and be sociable. And I think it's good because you can talk to people. Like if something's like wrong and you're really worrying about it, you can talk to people, like to your friends or family, and they can help you.
Do you think there's the opportunity in play to discover things?
Yeah.
So if we go to this place of like make believe and pretend, we can discover things that we can bring into our lives.
Yeah.
Can't we?
Yeah, like if you didn't believe that you could, let's say you didn't believe you could do a headstand for 30 seconds, then you could try it in your imaginary world, and then you could bring it into your real life and try it there, and then you can keep practicing on it.
And what about within writing? Can you bring any play to writing? Because you sit down, don't you, with a pen and paper or your laptop or whatever, and you type out the story.
Yeah.
But is there play there?
Yeah, because trial and error. Like you just type, and if you don't like it, delete. Or you can have fun with it. Like you can make like a really weird story. Like you can make a gobbledygook. Like one day I went to the shop and I bought let's think. I bought a hippopotamus that could shoot lightning out of his fingers or out of his paws.
And you just come up with that.
Yeah.
And you can test it out and you can see if that works within the writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really important to do. And I guess doing writing outside of a school environment, doing that at home with no rules, you're not being told what to write. You've got no guidelines, no structure. You just do whatever you want. That's a form of play, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's important because like being sociable is like really important. Like really important. It's like one of the top 10 most important things in your life, probably, maybe.
What would you say is the top 10 things then we should have in our lives?
Well, friends and family.
Okay, nice. And where would you put that? Are we putting them in order, or are we just saying them as we think of them?
Let's put them in order. So,
Okay.
friends and family, I'd put as number 1.
Nice.
Number 2, maybe. Maybe like freedom, maybe a little bit.
Freedom's very important.
Yeah, that's number 2. Number 3 is maybe trust. Like, you need a lot of trust to do stuff, and trust is very important. Like, if you keep telling lies, then people might find out and they might not trust you anymore. That's probably number 4. Number 5 is probably maybe money, maybe, because money's quite important.
Why do we think money's important?
Because you have to buy food with it, and if you don't have enough money to buy food, then you won't be able to have food.
I guess it's money is kind of like the fuel, isn't it?
Yeah.
To whatever it is we want to do. And it also helps with giving us the freedom.
Freedom, yeah.
Doesn't it? If we've got money, we can make our choices.
Yeah. And also, with money, you can buy a pen and paper or a laptop, so you can write the stories.
Yes.
I think number maybe 6, maybe luck. But not everybody has luck. Like us, we have parents and grandparents and mums and dads, and brothers and sisters, and I think that's really important.
So we do have good luck.
Yeah.
And some people have got bad luck, I guess, don't they?
Yeah.
But it's something to hold a value to.
Yeah.
That you have that good luck, and you recognise that.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Actually, I am lucky.
Yeah.
So where did we get to? 8?
8. Maybe technology, because back in the day, if you were out and about and you thought of something, like if you needed to make a phone call, you would have to go to like one of them boxes.
Phone box. Yes, you did. And you had to put money in to call people, whereas now
you have these mobile phones where you have all your contacts. You just click on a contact, then you call them.
Yeah, and we can even go deeper than that, can't we? That we've got these devices where we can ask it a question, any question in the world, and we can find out the answer.
Yeah, like Siri, ChatGPT,
Google. So we've almost got personal assistants with us everywhere that we go. Alexa. So that's a huge blessing, isn't it? The technology, and to think that with technology, if you think of like human history, technology started out with a hammer and a chisel. Yeah. And then maybe it moved on to man creating fire, and then where did we go? Paper and the wheel. Yeah. But we've got it to a place where we can have information at our fingertips. Yeah. Communication. Yeah. We can speak to anyone anywhere in the world, can't we?
Yeah. And also, I forgot what I was going to say.
It's because I've thrown you off track.
Yeah.
So how technology is important for us?
Yeah, it's probably like in my childhood, I've had loads of gadgets because I'm new like to this world, and like
And it's quite normal for your generation
yeah.
to have a lot of gadgets, isn't
Yeah,
it?
like if I went to like when you and Mummy was born, it would be different because
Very different.
there was like the TVs were very different
Yes.
and everything was just very different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're living in an age where technology has really boomed.
Like,
it's really
it's at its peak.
It's peaked, isn't it? There's so much technology around us, and actually that's something to be grateful for, isn't it?
Yeah.
So where did we get to? We got to 8. So what about 9? What else?
Maybe like houses, like a roof over your head. Like I think that's important because there's some of these people that live on the streets, and they must be very cold at night, and they don't have much money. And I see some people in the town that sit there and they have like dogs, and they're trying to sell them for money.
Right.
And that's like really sad, isn't it? So like
I think the ones that you see in the town, I don't think they're trying to sell their dogs, to be fair. I think they're trying to just get some money to feed themselves and feed the dog. I think that's what's happening.
Yeah.
So we're lucky to have those roofs over our head. You're giving a good definitive list for things to be grateful for, aren't you? So what would you put as number 10?
Number 10, maybe just history.
History?
Without history, we would be like at the bottom of our time. Well, we pretty much are at the bottom of our time because from here, technology's just gonna like get better. Like probably in the future we'll have like flying cars, and like we'll learn how to time travel or something.
Who knows what the future holds?
'Cause
But I guess looking back, we can be grateful for all the things that came before us.
Yeah.
We can be grateful for all the people that worked out how to do all these things, that worked out how to create the mobile phones, the technology that's on there, how to create the microphone, the lights that are in front of us, and the camera that's filming us now. Like someone worked all that out, didn't they?
Yeah.
So, and then I guess all the people in history that have fought the wars to protect us. Like I think sometimes back to my granddad, and I think back to he was in the Second World War to protect. You mentioned freedom, so we can go. History was important.
Like without the army, we would probably be Germans.
Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
Who knows where we would be now without them protecting.
We would
our
probably
freedom.
be all just one country. Like
And one set of beliefs.
One set of beliefs.
And do you think that would be good for the human race to just have one set of beliefs?
No, because I think we need all the beliefs, like Christians, Hindus, and all the other ones.
Why do you think that's important to have a mix of beliefs then, rather than just going, well, do you know what? I know best. I know how things are.
Because otherwise nobody will like you, and then the world would just be really boring if everyone just was like, oh, let's just listen to him, he knows best. Otherwise
I guess it comes back to our freedoms, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Which you mentioned.
Yeah.
And you said about how freedom is one of those core values that you need to have in life. And if you can't choose to believe in something different than the person sitting next to you, what freedom do you really have?
Yeah.
Because we're all different, aren't we?
Yeah. Like, if we were all the same person, the world would be boring because we would all have the same personality, the same facial features, the same everything.
Do you think that we could keep moving forward as a human race without those differences then? Do you think it helps us move forward, maybe?
I think that in the future, money might go down, maybe. Like,
when you say go down, so if we're going to talk about the future now, what you're envisioning, how things are going to start to change. Let's say when you're my age, when you're an old man like me,
Yeah.
how do you think things might? Because things have changed in all the years that I've
Yeah,
been
like
here.
things have got more expensive.
Things are more expensive.
Like a couple years ago, I used to get a haircut at Leisure Zone, and it used to be £10, but now it's £13.
Right, so you can see the increase already
Yeah.
of the cost of things.
Yeah, in the future maybe it'll get so high that nobody will start buying stuff, so they'll have to lower the price.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah, and I guess that's to do with the economy, that we have to work out what's essential.
Like food's essential and water's essential, and clothing and like stuff like toys aren't really essential.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, like, those are the most essential
things.
Yeah.
What else do you imagine the future might look like besides money? How do you think things like sport will change in the future?
Well, we already have such good things. Like in golf, they have like the thing that tracks the ball.
Mm-hmm.
In football, they have the offside thing. If a player's offside, it goes into like 3D modelling.
I don't follow football that much. Do they call it VGR?
I think so.
Is that what they... VAR?
VAR, yeah.
VAR, see, I don't know.
Virtual assistant.
Reconstruction?
I think so.
I have no idea. I'm sorry, Lucas.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So how do you see that changing in the future?
I think it will just get even more better. Like AI can do pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I think it will be like we can replay that moment, but as AI.
And why do you think the AI would help that moment?
Because
how would that be different from, say, like just pressing rewind?
Because you could maybe see things better than in real life. Because maybe it could slow it, not like slow it down. Like if I go like this, you can't really see my hand that well. Maybe it could put it like, if it was really going like that, it can make it clearer, so it's like that. So
you can see every small detail.
Yeah.
You can really break down the moments, can't you?
Yeah.
And make a clearer judgment of what happened.
Yeah.
And what about you for your future? Do you have any hopes and dreams for your future?
Well, I want to be a professional footballer, and I want to maybe like, I don't know how to say it, like be really, really, really good at it. Like I'm like the like Messi, like, or Ronaldo.
You want to be one of the best.
Yeah, one of the best of the best. Yeah.
Have you got any idea how that might feel to be one of the best at something?
Like,
how do you think Messi feels when he's playing his football?
Maybe like everyone's counting on you, but then you got to think it's just a game of football. It's just a game of football. Like, if you lose, you lose. You can't do much to stop that. Like, you can't go back in time or stuff. But in the future, maybe you could go back in time. You might have, like, rings where you could tap a button on it, or watches where you could tap a button on it, and it would just, like, yeah.
And go back.
Go back to any moment.
Do you think that would help us, though, if we could go back in time? If we had let's say we got a watch, right? We just played a game of football, and we got a watch, and we can go back and we can replay that whole game, knowing what happened.
You could, like, if say somebody was going to tackle you and then score, you could stop that by happening by passing the ball, but then the future might change. And other things might change, maybe. and yeah, I'm just taking this off like the Back to the Future stuff.
The sci-fi films that you'd seen.
Yeah, like The Flash.
Yeah. And when you go back and you change something, something else often goes wrong, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So there's often like warnings in these
Yeah.
sci-fi films, books and things that are saying that if you actually did go back and you made something different in that moment, then the good things wouldn't have happened that come from that. But maybe I'm starting to think that maybe we can kind of time travel within our own imagination. So rather than replaying the game that you've just played, maybe the next time that you play, you remember those things that went wrong and how they went wrong to stop it happening again.
Yeah.
Yeah? So when that certain player comes to tackle you, you know how to avoid that or how to deal with that situation better.
Yeah.
So I guess in some ways, within our imagination, maybe we do have the power to time travel already.
Yeah.
Don't we?
Yeah. Like, just in our minds.
Mm.
I think that it's just, like, really good that we have imagination. Like, without imagination, I don't think we would have any of this, like the lights, the camera, the microphones, because somebody's going to have to come up with it at some point.
Yes, at some point somewhere, someone said, wouldn't it be good if we could record voice?
Yeah, and record ourselves speaking. And wouldn't it be good if we had, like, lights where we could literally just click a button and it would just turn on? And, yeah.
So how do we use that imagination within our own lives then? How do we use that imagination to help us?
I think that imagination to help us is to, like, create things in our imagination, then maybe we could create it in real life somehow. Maybe. And yeah.
And what about when we talked, you mentioned about the lights that are in front of us. So when the inventor of the light bulb, whether that was, I think there's a dispute over who actually invented it, isn't there? It was either Edison or Tesla. I think the one that's most credited is Edison invented the light bulb.
The light bulb.
And I know that when he came up with that idea of how the light bulb would work, it didn't just work the first time, did it?
No. He, like, most of the times he actually did it, like, the light bulb probably, like, exploded because of how much heat. Like, if you turned a light bulb on for 3 hours, say, and then you touched it, it'd be really hot.
So what lesson do you think you can take from that even some of the most powerful inventors in history have failed a lot with their inventions and their ideas and their imagination? What do you think we can learn from that?
Well, I think that without failing, we wouldn't succeed. And also, I think we have to fail to succeed. So,
that's a good answer. So where has your creative life really started? Was there a point when you was really young that you was like, I understand that I've got a really strong imagination, I understand what this is?
Maybe when I was 5, because then I really knew how technology worked, so I could I could set things up for myself on computer, or like give myself ideas on a computer to then do on like writing. And also I needed to be in reception to learn how to write and how to spell.
So you needed a few skills
Yeah.
given to you.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of thinking that maybe we're all born with an imagination.
Yeah.
We need a little bit of guidance to
Unlock it.
I like that. To unlock the imagination. But then, have you got any idea how we can keep the imagination? Because I see a lot of adults that get to the end of going to school, and by the time they've learnt everything, they've almost unlocked it too much.
Yeah.
That they've forgotten how to use it.
Yeah.
So have you got any idea how we can keep hold of it as we grow up?
Maybe not limit it, but like use it when you actually need it. Not just use it like all the time, like 24/7. Like, oh, maybe this could be that. Oh, maybe this can be that. After. I think we could use it like if you have an idea, you could use it then, and then like if you're writing a story, use it then, and like don't just use it like constantly. Use it like bang, bang, bang.
I guess what you're trying to say is like don't live in the imagination.
Yeah.
Don't be in a pure world of fantasy.
Yeah, maybe put your imagination into real life.
And use it at certain points.
Certain points, yeah.
Certain points. I guess it's like football. You can't play football all the time.
Yeah.
You have to give it some dedication. You have to say, right, now is the moment that I'm going to play football. Focus on the football.
Yeah.
And then go off and do some life.
Yeah.
And then go off and spend time with your friends and family.
Yeah.
Then go off and do all the other things that you need to do.
Yeah. And
then come back to the football or come back to the writing and say, right now I'm going to write.
Yeah.
And focus on that.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
So, hypothetical question then. If we had a time machine and we could go into the future, we'd dial the watch and we'll go, right, okay, it's interesting. I'd like to be the same age as Uncle Martin. Let's go to nearly 40. Let's go to like 40 years in the future. And you met yourself. What advice would you give to him?
I would give to him to never stop believing. Or say I was meeting my younger self, say to him, start writing now.
What age would you go back to then?
Maybe 3, I'd say. Remember, when you learn to spell and write, start writing stories.
And so I'm going to pretend to be 3-year-old Lucas. I'm going to say, why? Why should I write these stories?
But then also, you could change your future because you would change because you've met yourself. You would remember that day for yourself. Like, that would have happened for you.
Yeah, and this is what I was saying earlier, wasn't it? That if you go back and you try and change something in the past,
it could change
the future. So maybe all the things that have happened to us are meant to happen to us.
Yeah.
And everything that we learn in this moment now, we're meant to learn it right now.
Yeah.
So we can take it forward with us.
Yeah.
So you probably started writing at exactly the right moment, at the right time.
Yeah.
So that you're building your skills from now to be a writer in the future.
Yeah.
Same with football. You're building your skills now to be that footballer in the future. Do you think, as an adult, it will be possible to be both a footballer and a writer?
Yes. I could be like the first footballer writer, and maybe I could like write about all the football stuff that I've done.
It sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
It does. Have you got any advice out there for any footballers?
If somebody says you're bad, don't believe them, and just keep trying. If you like foul the first attempt, try again and again and again until you get it. Like when I first done a Kiki Uppie, I asked, my dad said, if you can do 15, I'll give you £10. And then a year later, I done 16.
So it's about being determined,
Yeah.
keep going, keep trying,
Yeah.
and you'll get there eventually, won't you?
Yeah.
And what about writers? What advice would you give for writers?
I would say don't stop writing. Writing is probably one of the best things you could do. Maybe one of the best things that you could do.
Mm-hmm. Would you give any advice to writers for using their imagination and how they could use their imagination with their writing?
I think you could come up with like your own superhero.
Mm-hmm.
Or, yeah, come up with your own superhero, or like try a few stories, like make a weird story, like I bought a crocodile that can fly. And just try.
Just try it.
Yeah.
Why do you think the weird stories are a good idea?
Because you can get ideas from them.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could do a crocodile that can fly. I could turn that into a superhero story.
Yes. It can evolve into something else.
Yeah.
I guess sometimes...
It can evolve into a human, maybe.
I guess sometimes when we get the idea in our imagination, it might not be fully formed. It might not be like the full thing.
Yeah.
And the more that we get it out of our imagination and onto the paper, we can start to work out what it is that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it? So one final question for you, and a really difficult one. Really tough one.
Yeah.
Have you got any idea where the imagination comes from? Where does it all start?
Maybe just your personality. Maybe it comes from your personality. Like your personality gives you your imagination. Like if you had a funny what's it called again?
A funny personality?
Personality. If you had a funny personality, you would probably, if you wanted to write a story, you'd probably make a funny story.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had maybe a posh one, then you could write a story about maybe a king or a queen, or like a fairy tale.
This has been really good, Lucas.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you joining me. I have actually got one more question for you before we finish. Something new I've been doing on the podcast is I've been asking my guests, what question would you have for the next guest that comes onto the podcast? What do you don't know who they're going to be. All you know is that they are a creative.
Okay.
So what question would you have for another creative person?
This is hard. Maybe how much 1 to 10 do you think technology is going to evolve in the next 10 years? Maybe.
Okay. How much do you think technology is going to evolve?
From 1 to 10,
From 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Explain a bit more about that 1 to 10 for me.
If you like 1 is not very much, at like barely anything, and 10 is like we'll have like flying cars.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So we want to get a good understanding of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. I will ask that of my next guest.
Yeah.
Have you got any questions for me? I've asked you loads of questions, haven't I? I've been firing all the questions at you, trying to discover the secrets to the universe.
Where did all of this? When did you want to do all of this?
When did I want to do this? Do the podcast?
Yeah.
So for me, it started when I was in a moment of I don't know what to do anymore. I was trying to be an actor for a very long time. I wanted to be an actor on the stage and in films, and it wasn't going very well. I tried very hard, and I was very persistent, and I had a dream that I would be an actor, I was always saw myself as doing that.
Like Superman.
Like Superman, yeah, I'd love to play the part of Superman, or on the stage in the West End playing some Shakespeare. Yeah, I always had that as a dream, and I tried really hard for about 20 years, and I couldn't make that dream come true. I couldn't find a way to get people to want me to be part of their film. I auditioned for lots of films, and I've done some small little bits, but not enough to keep me going forward, and not enough to make the dream a reality. And so there was a little moment where I was feeling a bit sad and a bit like, oh, I've failed here. I don't know that I can keep going. And I was like, I don't know what else to do, because I put so much effort into that one thing.
Yeah.
And so then I stopped for a minute. I paused. I had a little break, and I stopped asking the question, what can I do? And I stopped fighting, trying to be an actor anymore, and I just stopped for about 6 weeks. And then in that 6 weeks, one day I woke up with this idea of doing the podcast. I woke up with this idea of these 2 chairs on the stage, taking the experience that I've had before in my life of being an actor, director, producer, writer, all the things that I'd done, taking that experience and adapting it to this. And maybe this could be something. And even when I had that first idea, it's changed since then in the past year. Because that first idea, I even thought maybe this needed to be a business, that this needed to be something else. But in doing it, I've discovered
that it's fun.
There's a wonderful opportunity to sit down and learn from people. I've discovered that I'm not a teacher, that I'm actually a student, that I'm actually learning. And everyone that sits down in the chair with me are teaching me things. And I've learned so much from you today. And I've learned so much from all the guests that have come on this podcast. And that's really given me a lot of fulfillment in my life. And I'm very grateful to all them people for giving me all of that knowledge and for teaching me all of the wisdom that they've taught me, skills that they've taught me. And it's also given me a lot of confidence as well. So I've become confident, more confident than I was before, because now I feel like I can be myself. Yeah. Which before I wasn't very good at being. All from just waking up one day and having this idea of 2 chairs on the stage and moving forward with that. Yeah. So yeah, and that's where we are. Yeah. And we're learning every day. Yeah. It's a good thing to learn. Do you enjoy learning? Yeah. Good.
Otherwise, if I didn't like learning and I didn't learn, I wouldn't know these words that I'm saying right now.
You wouldn't be able to construct your thoughts, and you wouldn't be able to put your imagination to good use, whether that's in writing or in football. Well, I'm really excited to see what journey lies ahead for you. Yeah. I'm really excited to keep reading your stories, to keep watching you play football. I'm really proud of you. You're turning up to be a wonderful human being. And thank you, Lucas.
That's okay.
And if anyone was watching or listening, we appreciate them as well, don't we? We appreciate you for joining us on this journey of discovery and learning, which we've done today. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
And maybe you might even start a podcast one day.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe this might be the start of an idea for you.
Because I do have a YouTube channel.
You do, don't you?
Yeah.
And what's that YouTube channel?
It's called Easy Games 1234. And I do like gaming videos, I do football videos, I do loads of videos. I might even do story writing videos.
Mm-hmm.
I might do art videos. I might do all sorts of videos.
But it's a great opportunity. We live in a great age where you can either create those things for yourself or you can choose to share them. Can't you?
Mm-hmm.
This has been wonderful, Lucas.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you once more.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Are we finished? Are we wrapped?
Yeah.
That was good. Should we see how long?
Yeah.
That was a really good conversation. Oh, wow. How long do you reckon that lasted?